Good day, everyone. Today we will explore the critical roles that technology plays in enhancing both teaching and learning. We will tackle how it supports educators in the classroom and how it empowers students to take control of their learning. By the end of this session, you will gain a deeper understanding of the value technology brings to education and how it can transform the learning experience. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the various roles technology plays in both teaching and learning. You'll also appreciate its value in supporting student learning outcomes, improving communication, and fostering critical thinking skills. According to Stosik, educational technology has three domains. First one, technology as a tutor. Second is technology as a teaching tool. And the third is technology as a learning tool. Each plays a distinct role in the learning environment, providing support to both the teachers and the students. When we say technology as a teacher, as a tutor, together with the teacher, technology can support the teacher. In technology as a teaching tool, like a tutor, technology is a teaching tool but can never replace the teacher. And technology as a learning tool, while the teacher utilizes technology as the tool for teaching, likewise, it is an effective tool for learning. For example, um, software like Duolingo helps learners practice language skills outside of class, acting as a supplementary tutor with feedback and corrections. Here are some examples of the roles that technology can do for teachers and teaching. One, technology provides enormous support to the teacher as the facilitator of learning. Second, the technology has modernized the teaching learning environment. And the third, technology improves teaching learning process and ways of teaching. When we say technology provides enormous support to the teacher as the facilitator of learning, it transforms a passive classroom to an active and interactive one with audiovisual aids, charts and models, smart classrooms, e-learning classrooms, which motivate and increase attention level of learners. When we say technology has modernized the teaching learning environment, the teachers are assisted and supplemented with appropriately structured instructional materials for daily activities. And for technology improves teaching learning process and ways of teaching, this will make the act of teaching more efficient and effective. In short, technology provides immense support for teachers. It transforms passive classrooms or the boring classrooms into active interactive environments with audiovisual aids and e-learning platforms. It modernizes the learning environment, making teaching more effective. For example, a math teacher incorporates an online math games and simulation tools in the class. This engages the students to actively and helps them understand abstract concepts better through visualization. Technology opens new fields and educational researches. The areas of teaching, testing, and evaluation are enhanced by technologies for teaching and learning. Also, technology adds to the competence of teachers and inculcates scientific outlook. The teachers are encouraged to imbibe skills to source the information with speed and accuracy. And technology supports teacher professional development. The availability of technology provides alternative way of attending professional development online. In short, technology opens new doors for educational research and teacher professional development, from improving teaching methods to providing access to online courses for teachers. Technology enhances learning outcomes and the development of teaching strategies. For example, teachers use platforms like Coursera or edX to take professional development courses online, allowing them to learn new skills without attending in person or on site training sessions. For learners and learnings, it supports learners to learn how to learn on their own. All teachers fully understand that subject matter or content is a means to achieve the learning outcomes. So there are three categories of knowledge according to Egbert of 2009. We have the declarative, which is composed of discrete pieces of information that answers the questions what, who, when, and where. Samantalang yung structural knowledge, it consists of facts of pieces of declarative knowledge put together to attain some form of meaning. Samantalang ang procedural, when we say procedural, is the knowledge in action or the knowledge on how to do something. These categories are essential in understanding how your students process information and learn effectively. Balikan po natin yung declarative knowledge. When we say declarative knowledge, it is consists of the facts, information, and the what knowledge. It answers to questions such as what is this or who did that. This type of knowledge is critical for foundational learning, where students need to absorb specific pieces of information. For example, in a history class, students are asked to memorize key events and dates from the World War II. This factual knowledge forms the basis of their understanding of the topic, and that is declarative. Next, when we say structural knowledge, it goes beyond isolated facts and answers the questions how and why. Again, for the declarative, we answer the questions what or who, right? Samantalang dito po sa structural, we answer the questions how and why. It involves understanding the relationships between the pieces of declarative knowledge, creating a meaningful network of information. So this will help your students to make sense of the facts by seeing the bigger picture. For example, a biology student learns not only that plants perform photosynthesis, and that is declarative, diba? But also understand how the process works in relation to the plant's environment, such as how light intensify affects growth. Okay, that's structural. Again, sa biology student mo, pag sinabi natin what is the process of the plants of making their own food, that is declarative because you are asking what. But if you ask like how the plants processes this, that is an example of a structural knowledge. Okay. Next, procedural knowledge. When we say procedural knowledge, it is the knowledge in action. Again, the knowledge in action. It's about knowing how to do things. So this is the practical application of what has been learned, like knowing how to perform a task or solve a problem. For example, sa computer class, students are taught how to write a program in Python. They are not just learning the syntax, which is it is an example of declarative knowledge, or how the program operates, which is again an example of structural knowledge, but they are also applying this understanding by writing and executing their own code, which is the procedural. Okay? So, I hope na nakaklarado po ang procedural, structural, and declarative. So, connecting these types of knowledge, all these three types of knowledge, the declarative, the structural, and the procedural, are interrelated. In the classroom, technology can support students in acquiring and applying all these types of knowledge effectively. For instance, interactive software can provide declarative knowledge through information modules. It helps students connect with these information through structured activities. And finally, enable them to practice what they have learned through simulation or problem solving tasks. Okay? So, another example pa natin, for declarative knowledge with technology naman, integration of technology. This is when your student will use Google to research about facts. Okay? For example, the facts about the solar system. So there is an integration of technology given that it is declarative. It's a mere remembering of facts and answers the questions what or where or who, right? Samantalang pag sinabi po natin structural knowledge with integration of technology, they then use a digital mind mapping tool, like for example, MindMeister, to connect ideas about how the planets interact with each other in orbit. And when we say procedural knowledge with integration of technology, students use simulation tools like PhET online. These are online applications po. Experiment with gravitational pull and understand how planets' positions affect their orbits. In short, our topic, baka naguguluhan ka, our subject for that example that I have given is about solar system. Next. Technology enhances learners' communication skills through social interaction. So this is a commonly described as the transmittal of information from one person to another as single individual or groups of individuals. So according to Shirley of 2003 and Egbert of 2009, there are three basic communication patterns. One is point-to-point two-way or one-to-one like internet chat, phone conversation, or even face-to-face conversation. Another is one-to-many outbound like for example, a lecture or a television, di ba mas maraming audience doon. So there is no social interaction, but you are targeting a massive population. And many to many, like for example, group discussion, bus session, or heads together. Okay? So another example pa, group collaboration. Students may use Microsoft Team if you are familiar or pwedeng Zoom to collaborate on a group project. So sharing documents, discussing ideas, and solving problems together in real time. Okay? Together, may simultaneous sila nagawa. So for example, another thing, benefits derived from technology supported communication. It enables, number one, is it enables any teacher to guide the learners virtually and making learning unlimited because communication and social interaction go beyond a school day or a school environment. Also, it enhances students' freedom to express and exchange ideas freely without the snooping eyes of the teacher face to face. Also, another benefits derived from technology supported communication is that it enables learners to construct meaning from joint experiences between the two or more participants in communication. Yun yung sinabi natin kanina. It can be through a lecture or a group discussion, through a Microsoft team, or through a Zoom or whatsoever. It also helps learners to solve problems from multiple sources since there is limitless sources of information that the teacher or you as the teacher can direct or refer to your learners. And also, it teaches learners to communicate with politeness, taking turns in sending information and giving appropriate feedback. And also, another benefit derived from technology supported communication is that it enhances collaboration by using communication strategies with wider community and individuals in a borderless learning environments. And of course, develop critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity through syempre, throughout the communication. Technology aids in the development of higher order thinking skills, such as critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. By using digital tools, students can engage in activities that require them to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information. So that's why we say that technology upgrades learners' higher order thinking skills, critical thinking, and problem solving. When we say critical thinking, it is a part of the cluster of higher order thinking skills. Again, say it again, critical thinking. When we say critical thinking, it is a part of the cluster of higher order thinking skills. In short, critical thinking is HOTS. Again, HOTS, higher order thinking skills. It refers to the ability to interpret, to explain, to analyze, to evaluate. When we say evaluate, we have the synonym judge, diba? Infer and self-regulate in order to make good decisions. Here are some ways that teachers can do to develop critical thinking. Number one is ask the right questions. That is, of course, very important. Second one is to use critical thinking tasks with appropriate level of challenge. For example, what are some simple ways the teacher should do? Number one, vary the questions asked. Dapat hindi pare-pareho. Also, and introduce new technologies. Pangatlo, modify the learner's groupings. Pangapat, modify the critical thinking task. And syempre, encourage curiosity. For example, um, in a biology class, the students use simulation software to model ecosystem, testing how different variables like temperature and population changes affect the system. So this encourages analysis and inference. Creativity. When we say creativity, it is characterized as involving the ability to think flexibly, fluently, originally, and elaborately. That is according to Guildford of 1986 and Torrance of 1974 in Egbert 2009. When we say flexibly, it means able to use many points of view. While when we say fluently, sabihin mo fluently, when we say fluently, it means able to generate many ideas. And when we say originally, it implies being able to generate new ideas. And elaborately means able to add details. Okay? So yun. So we have 7 creative strategies as per Osborne of 1963. These have been simplified into fewer categories. To be creative, one can use any of these strategies. So sabihin mo, scamper. Say it again. Scamper. So when we say scamper, S stands for substitute. Okay? When we say substitute, that is finding something or thinking of something to replace, to do what it does. Also, when we say C, combine. Sabihin mo combine. When we say combine, it blend two things that do not usually go together. Kaya nga siya combine, 'di ba? Tapos, when we say scamper, we are in letter A. Sabihin mo adopt. Say it again. When we say adopt, you look for other ways that this can be used, something can be used, right? When we say M, that is modify, magnify, and minify, make a change, enlarge or decrease. When we say P, that is put to another use, find other uses. And when we say E, that is eliminates. When we say eliminate, that is to reduce or remove. And when we say R, that is reverse. Turn upside down, inside out, and front side back. So scamper, substitute, combine, adopt, modify, put, eliminate, and reverse. So for example, in a design class wherein your students literally are going to design, students use the scamper strategy to redesign a common object, like for example, a chair, by adapting it for a different use or modifying its structure for increased functionality. So there are some suggestions that teachers can support the development of critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity by encouraging students to explore information from various sources. So compare perspectives and also reflect on their learning process. So some suggestions for teachers to support student creativity is to provide an enriched environment, teach thinking strategies, allow learners to show what they can do, and use creativity with technology. So the real world scenarios and diverse assessment methods also help enhance these skills. Okay, such as encourage students to find and use information from variety of sources, both online and offline. Also assist students to compare information from different sources, allow students to reflect through different delivery modes like writing, speaking, or drawing, and use real experiences and material to draw tentative decisions and involve students in creating and questioning assessment. Okay? So for example, ito pa, several critical thinking tools and technology software. This encourages digital production projects, popularizes e-learning modalities, and enhances global awareness and citizenship. So, to give you an example of a problem-solving scenario, a math teacher presents students with a real-world budgeting problem. Diba? Real-world budgeting problem where they need to manage a set of budget for the class. For example, may event sa klase or Christmas party, right? So students use Excel or the Microsoft Excel or the spreadsheet to track expenses and solve for the most cost-effective plan. Okay?